Good evening, dear holders. Today we will speak with Brian from the Honeypod. He's the Honeypod developer. And we will discuss some questions about anonymous surfing, anonymous internet and all this stuff, because it's a very hard problem for many users, for many crypto users. You know that many exchanges can block your account just because you use the on-purpose IP and so on. And Brian will tell us how to avoid these problems, how to make safe, fast internet. So Brian, introduce yourself, introduce who are working on this company.
Yep.
Here is the demonstration.
Yes. I'm Brian Maroney, the CEO of Honeypod. Honeypod is a small consumer device that essentially makes you a ghost on the internet. So there are companies out there such as AdBlock Plus, and we know from crypto, Brave browser. And essentially what those do is they block the ads, essentially block the ads from your view. But there is no consumer device that is easy to use that the general consumer can be able to either plug in or put into their computer that protects them from third parties or from their ISP, their internet service provider, or essentially governments, as far as collecting their user data on a daily basis. So all your activities that you do online, all of your personal information is grabbed, is stolen for on every web page that you visit. And so what Honeypod does is that it makes you a ghost. It removes all tracking systems. It removes all fingerprinting, and I'll go over fingerprinting in a second, and disguises your identity and your location.
Well, it's a very small, lightweight design.
Yes.
Lightweight device. So, tell us a little more about this technical specs.
How
it works with the internet connection, how it defends the user, and all you need to tell us about this device.
So we went through many revisions. So this is a year in the making, about 14 months in the making. We started off with the software side. The software is the backbone of Honeypod. And once we got the software completed, then we started on the actual enclosure and the PCB, which is the actual board inside, the CPU, etc., and started building out what we have now. And so we tried to make it small, lightweight, very simple, easy, and ultimately inexpensive for the general consumer. So we don't want something that is $500. We want something that we can get to the lowest price point.
It's your own production, yeah?
What's that?
Yeah, it's your own production.
Yeah, so this is our own production. So this is our own design. This is our own production. We'll be going into our own manufacturing. But yeah, so Honeypod started off with myself. I have a background of about 12 years now in senior level programming with very large corporations. So we have like Ford Motor Company, we have Bank of America, we have many Silicon Valley corporations that I've worked with, that I've built out their schematics, their back end for. And so I have the technical ability and the technical knowledge to create something like this. How Honeypod started was that as I went on to the internet and as I went shopping around, that there was nothing available out there to really hide my identity or protect against my data privacy that wasn't incredibly expensive. So there are things on the corporate side that you can purchase for, I'm talking in USD, $1,000, $1,500 USD that you can purchase that you can go and configure, but that's not realistic for the general consumer. For the person that's at home, it's not realistic. And so I began building out Honeypod as we see it today, so that as I'm home, as my children are at home and they're browsing the web, and as I'm browsing the web, that our personal information is protected. When you jump online, you expect a certain amount of anonymity. You don't see all the data packets flowing in and out of your internet connection. That's hidden, and so the general person doesn't realize all the information that is being stolen from them. And so,
well, okay, let's speak a little bit.
Yeah, of course.
Some new questions from this question can be interesting for the users who understand how it works, how the connection, how this bias goes
Yeah.
there and here and there. So how does your device work with traffic, how it controls users' connection, how it works with CCL protocols? And more very urgent question is how it's possible to make an update?
Sure.
Because if you don't have any technical knowledge, it can be very hard. But if this device works with developers update from their side, from the FTP, the IP protocols can be vulnerable for hackers attack.
Sure.
They just can take your packages and just change them. So how you work with this problem, how you solve it?
Yeah, so let me go. So there's a lot of questions right there. You know, how does the data move back and forth? How do you deal with SSL? And then how do you actually secure the device against hackers or malicious actors? So yeah, let's go in the very beginning would be the data flowing back and forth. So I will try to be as simplistic as possible for those that are not technical. That how it works is that, well, really how the internet works is that, let's say you open up your laptop or you turn on your phone, okay? The internet doesn't just start flowing into your laptop or your phone. It's when you start actually using devices. So you start opening up an application or you start opening up a browser. Well, that browser, which is called a client, that browser or the application makes requests to the outside. Okay. And so what Honeypod does, it checks those requests that application or that browser is using. It checks those requests to see if are these requests that you are expecting, are these requests from malicious entities? What kind of data is going to be pulled back once that request is made from the outside? What kind of data is going to be pulled back? And so we use two mechanisms. We use a list-based mechanism, so things that we know are malicious. And then we also have a machine learning algorithm in there that essentially classifies.
Correct. Software.
Correct. And so we have a machine learning algorithm that classifies each data packet on the severity of what we think that this is. And so the Honeypod essentially makes a decision at that time whether this is malicious or not. Yeah. And so as far as SSL,
so
go on.
If I will tell the simple words,
Yeah, of course.
you just see the traffic, and it see what traffic can be malicious and what traffic it can trust, and
Correct.
it works with some artificial intelligence.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep. Correct. Yeah.
Well, and it's all in such a small box.
Yes. Yes. To put it in a very simplistic term, so for people to understand, what Honeypod does is think of a bridge. Okay, and think of a guard that is sitting on that bridge. For the good traffic, yeah. So for the good traffic, the guard lets it pass through. Okay. For the bad traffic, if you will, the guard basically says that there is no bridge at all. Okay.
You shall not pass.
Yep. As far as protecting your device. So we use a number of mechanisms. Okay, so we do use cryptography within Honeypod. So when requests are being sent out through your internet connection from your device, there is a service called a DHCP server and a DNS server. Okay, I'll try to be very layman's, as non-technical as possible. Basically, a DNS server takes your request and distributes it around the world to the correct location. So if the server is in Malaysia, or if it's in the UK, or if it's in Denmark, or in the United States, it routes it to the correct
It
server.
simply works with VPN connections here.
Kind of. So regardless of whether you have a VPN or not, you always connect to a DNS server.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Usually it would be your internet service provider's DNS server, but in this case, Honeypod has its own DNS server. And so what we do is we use cryptography to encrypt that data that comes in to Honeypod, and then we encrypt it as it goes out through the DNS server. Okay. And so any data that comes in that is not essentially encrypted or doesn't use the same cryptography, it's kicked out. Honeypod is not expecting it, and so it's kicked back out because it sees it as a malicious request or a malicious intrusion into your computer.
So the development of such an incredible device with such ergonomics and all this stuff, all this software. Is there many knowledges? Tell us about your team who works.
Yeah, so we have a number of senior level engineers. We only have senior level engineers that have 10 plus years of experience working on specific devices. So we do have a gentleman that has an extensive security background. We do have another gentleman that has extensive background in infrastructure. As far as server infrastructures, and then we have two other developers that are very knowledgeable in the Linux-based systems. So.
Programmers. So the next urgent part of our discussion is your token.
Yes.
We know that you will list on the Deex Exchange, and we will speak now about the token, the tokenization, your works, how you work on it. And let's begin with the token itself. How it works, where it can be used, which blockchain it used, and what benefits it gives to holders, to traders, all this information.
Yeah, there's a lot of information to share. I mean, there's a lot of information just in Honeypod on the security side, and then there's a compensation side that we have where we actually compensate you. And then we have the token side. So there's a lot of information to try to wrap up. But we run on the Stellar protocol. So we run on the Stellar blockchain protocol as far as our cryptocurrency. That is, a lot of people know that as XLM.
Yeah.
And so we use that primarily because our cryptocurrency is for payments. Okay, when we are paying tens of thousands of users on a daily basis, we needed a very cheap, fast, simple way that we can programmatically, using code, be able to distribute payments to people around the world. And so we're dealing with different countries, we're dealing with different currencies, and so when we first started this, we sat back and we were thinking, how do we distribute payments? And the easiest, simplistic way to distribute payments to people all around the world in large quantities is to use cryptocurrency. And so
use it safely.
Use it, yes. Use it very inexpensively, very quickly, and very safely. And how we use cryptocurrency within Honeypod is that Honeypod actually gives you the ability to be compensated for just your general internet use. So not only do we protect you from your online identity, we make you a ghost online, but we also allow you to do a number of things, such as if you wish to be compensated, then you can turn on a VPN node. So you can essentially run a VPN node or an exit node, which allows other people to have access to a VPN. In which you are compensated. So when you're sleeping, you can turn on the VPN node, and you can be compensated while you're sleeping. Or you're able to, since we do block all tracking systems, all ads, all fingerprinting by default, if you wish to turn on the ads, instead of being a product of the ad industry, you can now start making compensation or money from just your daily internet browsing. So all those ads that may be you may currently see, instead of just seeing those ads, now you're being paid for every single ad that is presented before you. And so right now we're looking at the average person based upon just general internet use. You're looking at about $100, $150 a month in compensation.
Well, I know that you're running the EO now.
Correct.
ICO.
Correct.
Yeah, it's hard to develop such a device, and
Yeah.
you will absolutely need some money to
Of course.
develop it.
Of course.
So tell us how you will distribute the funds that you will receive in these.
Yeah. So the Honeypod was created into a production state using my own personal funds. So I funded it all the way up into a production state. Yeah. I self-funded the project with the development and everything up into the production of Honeypod. And so now we are seeking contributions to turn this not only into a product, but turn this into a company. And we'll go over our roadmap in just a second.
The roadmap is on your site.
Yep. So as far as where the funds go, since the product is done, the large majority of the funds don't go into development because it's done. That's already been paid for. So the large majority of the funds go into marketing, so that we can generate more awareness, so that we can get more boxes out. It goes into marketing, it goes into research and development, so that we can continue to bring more products out, and goes into manufacturing. So those are the three main areas: is marketing, manufacturing, and R&D, research and development.
So the question that will be useful to know for all users is how you work with organization who controls traffic in many countries.
Yes.
Because if you know, in Russia there is some problems with it.
Sure.
I know that in China as well, and many other countries. How you work with these organizations, and how your device will be safe for users? Do they need to plug their brains? So if they can use it. So when when they use it, the police can.
I'm going to be very careful with this because I do travel around the world, and so I'd like to have safe travel. But our job at Honeypod is to make you a ghost. Okay, so that means that
but some organizations don't want to see the ghosts.
Correct. So our goal is to make you a ghost, and so that hides all tracking. That hides your location, that hides all the fingerprinting. So essentially you are not who you're hidden, you're just blank, you're not there. And so
some fantastic thing like in the Matrix movie.
And so some countries do have certain laws against that. And so that's where the general consumer is going to have to make that decision whether they want to use that or not. We provide to the world the opportunity to use this technology. And then you, as the user, are going to have to decide whether you want to use that yourself. So, as far as like traffic controllers or the internet service providers, you turn Honeypod on, and they have no information on you. They have no information. The data is all encrypted, going back and forth. They see a bunch of ones and zeros and X's and Z's, and they can't make any sense of it. They see the data coming through, but it doesn't make any sense to them.
Yeah, it's like the famous for us from the movie, I don't remember its name, all what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about the future plans, about its further development. As I see, it's just the first version of the device.
So this is the very beginning. We have to start somewhere, okay? And so we want to get really good at this, and then be able to move on to other products and down our product line. So Honeypod is essentially a router right now. It has all the routing mechanisms in it, but it doesn't have the ports. It's not a modem. And so our next on our roadmap, our next item is an actual router.
It doesn't have any buttons there.
Just no buttons. So there are no buttons. So let me go into the reason why there's no buttons, and then I'll continue on the roadmap. The reason why there's no buttons is because we wanted to make it very simple and easy for the consumer. This should be no different than any appliance in your house. If you buy a TV, you go and you plug it in and it just works. You buy a laptop, you plug it in, it just works. You buy a fridge, you plug it in and it just works. And so that's the same thing with Honeypod. So you would just, with Honeypod, you simply plug it in and it just works. You plug in the power, you plug in the Ethernet, it auto configures to your current network, and that's it. That's it. The general consumer doesn't have to worry about anything technical. It doesn't have to worry about any settings. Doesn't have to worry about any changes. It just works. And so we spend a lot of time just building it so that it just works. And so about a third of our time, many months, were dedicated just to making it as simple and easy as possible for the consumers. I would like my mother, I would like my grandmother to be able to know that they can buy this, they can plug it in, and they don't have to know anything. Yeah. They can just buy it, plug it in, and that's it.
So guys, even your grandmother can use this.
Yes.
And she will need to ask you where to plug in and which button you need to push up.
Exactly. So there's no buttons, you plug it in, it works.
Yeah, okay, let's talk back.
Yes, the roadmap. So the roadmap. So our next item on the roadmap is a full router. Is to replace your current router. So if you currently have a router or a Wi-Fi connection, our next item on our roadmap is to turn Honeypod into a full router. And so this would be something that you can put in your home. This is something that you can put in your business, that you have a router. And then beyond that, we currently have the designs in place.
I hope there will be no any antennas and so on.
So the antennas are all inside.
Inside.
So it's very much like your cell phone. So you don't have an antenna coming out of your cell phone.
But the many routers got this big antennas.
Yeah. So we actually have a number of antennas all throughout this that has antennas and amplifiers, and I know it's small, but yeah, there's antennas all throughout this. But yeah, so the router, and then beyond the router, we currently have on our roadmap and the designs already in place for a travel size. So this is for your home. You plug it into your router. But what happens when you're not home? Now you can connect to the VPN. So this does come with a VPN. You can connect to the VPN from your phone or wherever, from your laptop when you're not at home. But for such as people that travel a lot or are not in their home a lot, we have a travel size one. It's
different from this.
It's different from this. So it's smaller. It's about the size of a credit card.
Smaller than this one.
Yes, it's about the size of a credit card. It's a little bit thicker, and you plug in your SIM card, your GSM, your SIM card, and so that you're able to plug that in, put it in your wallet or put it in your purse, forget about it, and you can connect to it anytime you want.
Do you have any sample to show us?
I don't have any samples right now. So that is currently in the design phase. We haven't started with production. That's in our roadmap 6 months from now.
That's the next step, I see.
Yes.
So let's speak about the token sale, about the crowdfunding program. Anything you can tell us? Anything you can tell for our users, for traders who will use your token, and for all who are interested in cryptocurrency as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are in a token sale. So we are raising. It is public. So the minimum is $20 USD. As far as the we do have an affiliate program, as well as we do have pre-orders. So you are able to purchase this right now to get it to be the first person or people to receive your Honeypod. So we are beginning our manufacturing, our production ramp up, and so we are accepting pre-orders right now. We do have a large number of pre-orders, and so anybody that gets in right now in the pre-orders is guaranteed to be the first ones to get this. Now,
everybody can pre-order from any country. Yeah?
Everybody in the world. We are in all over the world, from Russia to China to down to Hong Kong to Australia to all over Europe, so we're shipping all over the world at the current moment. And so if you want to have a guaranteed Honeypod, then it's time to pre-order right now.
I want to have such.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And so the last thing that anybody wants is that that you wait for a you wait and you don't pre-order, and then we suddenly release it to the public, and there's 10,000, 50,000 orders, and there's just a backlog, and so we're expecting the backlog, and so if you want to guarantee yours now, it's time to pre-order.
You can pre-order just now.
Yes,
right
you can pre-order right now online, and it's $99 USD. It also comes with $100 in cryptocurrency for you to use within the ecosystem. Yeah. So as far as we also have an affiliate program with our pre-orders. So we do have an affiliate program with our pre-orders. So if you want to share with your network or with your friends about the pre-order, then we do pay you for that. So it's every referral that you bring in is you receive $10 USD, and so we pay that to you either in if you have a lot of referrals, we pay that in either wire, it's cash, we pay you either wire, or we can pay you in Bitcoin or Ethereum.
But you can pay in your tokens as well too.
Yeah, so we can as far as
it will be interested for traders, for people who use cryptocurrency.
Correct. Yeah. So if you want to pay if you want us to pay you in our tokens, we're happy to do so.
Oh, okay, no problem.
So we do receive a lot of questions in regards to how the token works within our ecosystem, and we have an interesting mechanism. So we do allow, we do have mechanisms in place for you to be compensated, and so such as ads or running a node, a VPN node, in which you receive compensation daily into your Stellar-based wallet. Okay, and so how that works is that let's say for advertising that ads are presented to you. Advertisers then pay Honeypod as a corporation. We have to then turn around and take that fiat capital and repurchase those tokens in order to distribute to you or to users in general. And then once you actually receive those tokens, you're able to go into a third-party exchange, or within Honeypod, we actually have a mechanism in which you're able to go online to any online retailer. We don't have to have a partnership with them, and actually do an instant conversion to purchase anything that you want online. So you're able to take those tokens that you have earned, or that cryptocurrency that you have earned, and actually turn around and go and pay your electric bill, or go pay your internet bill, or go and purchase a new clothes or new shoes or something online. In which anything that you want, in which Honeypod essentially runs as the credit card merchant to run the conversion instantly, so that you're able to actually turn cryptocurrency, something that you've earned, into a tangible asset, a real asset that is that's able to be spent. And so I would say that it's arguably the most secure payment system online, simply because we monitor all traffic and communications, or Honeypod does. Monitors all traffic and communications, and then we're also using a cryptocurrency to assist in that payment. So there's no credit cards, there's no bank details, no personal information. You just go online and you pay, and then you receive it.
Okay. So thanks a lot for the interview, for your words, for this device.
Yes.
So guys, I can tell you that it's an amazing thing. I don't know if you ever use it or not, such things, but this really needed thing to you, for every internet users, and like I said previously, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. And what happens in your computer, what happens when you surf in the browser, the internet, will stay there. No one will know where you are, what you're doing, and you will be safe. And you will guarantee, we will guarantee that you will be protected. So just pre-order it. You can buy tokens, you can buy this device as well, and I just need to say good luck for the team, for their development, for the stuff. You guys do a great job. I think many people will be pleased to use this device, and they will be grateful for it.
Well, I appreciate everybody's time, and I especially appreciate your time for allowing us to come in here and not speak to your user base.
Yeah. So goodbye, good trading, good profit, and so on.
Yeah.